Hey guys, welcome to the Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD walkthrough. This is chapter 13 of a 13 chapter walkthrough, so if you've done your math right, it's the last chapter. We are taking on the final dungeon. So you may be wondering why I'm starting here in the potion shop, and that's just to show you some things that you can do to prepare. You can get free red potions for, I think it's either 15 or 20 red chew jelly. I don't know, I just use the elixir soup, which you get 2, and that's basically a blue potion plus you get a power boost. But also you might want to bring green potion along. It's helpful, then you don't have to waste elixir soup, and you're going to be using magic in the final boss fight. So if you haven't gotten the to unlock the green potion, you need 15 green chew jellies. So if you've been, fighting a lot of green chew jellies, you can do that. Also, I don't have all 15 blue chew jelly. I didn't get them all in the walkthrough, and I'm not going to get them because it's not that important. You can unlock the blue potion, but you can also get blue potion with Bokobaba seeds at Forest Haven, which is the easier option. However, I will put up an annotation, it might have already been up, where all of the blue, or actually I won't put up an annotation, I'll put it in the video description at the bottom, so that'll list all of the areas where there are blue chew jellies that you can find. You can only get them once to unlock it, and you get a free blue potion, but the elixir soup is better. So, wondering where we got the elixir soup? Go back to chapter 6, that's where we got the elixir soup. I show you how to get it there. Basically, you just give a fairy to your grandma who is sick. But once you have all the Triforce pieces, you can head to Tower of Gods. Also, after you have to have beaten, obviously, the Earth and Wind temples. But once you do that, now we can head back to Hyrule and pick up Zelda, defeat Ganon, the usual stuff. So, also, I'm going to spoil something later on in the video. We will have to fight all of the bosses, well, not all of the bosses, all but one of the bosses that we've fought so far. And so during those battles, I have used the speed up ability of my video editing software. So yeah, I sped up to those parts, just so you guys know, because you've already seen me beat them. And so I'll give you small tips, but basically if you want to know exactly how to beat them, go back to the chapters where we fought them, although you've already beat them too if you're at this point in the game. So once you're at Hyrule though, head down to the basement area. Obviously some scuffles happened because the statue is broken. And head up, you'll see Zelda, but she disappears, and then Ganon will talk to you. Or rather Ganondorf, whatever. So after that, he will surround you in fire and create 2, I think they're red, well, they're like black dark nuts, I guess. Red, black, dark nuts. They're the hardest kind. But come on, Ganon, we just got done taking out 4 of these things in much harder conditions. This is nothing. So usual Dark Nut tactics. Now, if you have the Hero's Charm, you can see their health, as you can see on the screen there. And remember that you can use your boomerang if their helmets are off. That's basically the way to take down the Dark Nuts. So, and then keep switching between the 2 of them, so that just in case there's a parry attack available to you. They do take more hits to defeat than a white Dark Knight, of course. Once you've defeated these guys and the fire goes down, you can head back out. Now we have to take on Ganon himself. So we do have a dungeon to go through though, of course, as in most Zelda games, there's a Ganon's Tower. So we're going to take that on next. But we're going to have to go through Hyrule a little bit to get there. So as soon as you come out of the basement, there'll be a cutscene where you can just, it'll take you straight to the door you need to go. And then if you came out here earlier in the game, which you could have, but you wouldn't have been able to get past this little barrier thing. Now that the Master Sword is at full power again, though, you can just press B and it will trigger a cutscene. Even if you're wearing your mask, the cutscene will show Link without his mask, the hero's charm there. So that's something interesting that the developers didn't program in. They just kind of they didn't think that Link might have his hero's charm on, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just kind of funny. So there's going to be some enemies along this path. Unfortunately, it's just one single path. When I first got here, my first time playing through the game, I thought, whoa, now we're in Hyrule. We can, like, you know, go to Lake Hylia and go to Death Mountain and stuff. But no, we're at the end of the game. It's just one path to Ganon's Tower. I thought it would have been really cool, but I don't know, 100%ing this game takes long enough, so I'm fine with there just being the final boss, because there's a lot to do in this game, and there's actually a lot that I didn't cover in the walkthrough. But anything that I did cover is helpful to your adventure, like heart pieces and treasure charts, things like that. So I covered all the items, but I didn't cover the figurines. There are a few secret caves that contain rupees that I didn't cover, so you can explore that for yourself. I like to leave some things for the audience to play because I want you guys to play this game. I don't want you guys to just watch me. Although it's fine if that's what you like to do also. Once you get to the end of the path though, go ahead and pull out your hookshot and hookshot across. There are a couple keys in the middle one, so watch out for them. You don't want to jump off accidentally or fall off. And then just head through. So now we are at Ganon's Tower. Head through the door straight ahead of you, and you'll notice that there is a big lava pit here. And there's a door directly ahead of you, but there's also 4 doors going in clockwise fashion, kind of like those rooms in the previous chapter where we had to defeat all the enemies in one room and then go to the next one. So it's kind of like that, except this is a little more puzzle based, I suppose. So I'm gonna go clockwise around. So I'm gonna head first to the left door. This is the one that corresponds to Dragon Roost Cavern. So in here, there's a bunch of things you'll see. Some of them are just there to trip you up, though. So don't worry about the pots of water. Just pull out your grappling hook and grapple off to the little platforms in the lava. And then you can pull out your grappling hook again, go to the next one, and finally grapple onto the 3rd grappling hook spot. But this time, hold down ZR to stop, and then climb up. Yeah, they kind of trick you there. So you want to climb all the way up, and then jump off and use your Deku Leaf. Watch out for the red bubbles there, and then head through the door. So these are, like I was saying earlier, all of the boss battles. Here we see Goma, and you can see I've sped it up, mainly because I screwed up a little bit because I was trying to be a little too fast on some of these. So the main strategy for Goma is to hook onto Valu's tail, or grapple onto Valu's tail rather, and do that 3 times, and then you'll break his shell, and you can grapple him down and hit him. He'll take less hits now that you have a more powerful sword than when you first beat him, so it should be pretty quickly, or it should go by pretty quickly, or at least faster than when you first did it, unless you screw up like I did and get hit a couple times. Although he's not going to do that much damage anyways. Also, you'll notice since the video is sped up, you can't really hear it, but these are remixes of the original boss theme, so that's kind of cool. I give Nintendo props on that. That's, you know, something different. But once you defeat him, you'll be transported to the middle of the room, and you'll see the Goma symbol light up on the door that is directly ahead of you. So next we're going to go to the upper left door, next in the clockwise direction, but also remember that these skulls in the middle, whenever you're teleported here, they will contain magic and hearts. So that's something to keep in mind. Unless you're playing hero mode, they won't contain hearts, but they'll still have magic and rubies for you. Also, make sure you take out the green bokoblins. They can be kind of annoying on the bridges, but just use your boomerang and you should be fine. So in this room, you want to use your Deku Leaf on the little propellers, and then jump onto the platform and use your Deku Leaf backwards so that you can like push yourself along the platform. Then you have to wait for the little arm tree thing, I don't know, it's weird, to go down, so then you can bat at the propeller to bring the other platform over, jump onto that platform, and now you're going to use your Deku Leaf to do some platforming. But it's pretty simple stuff. At this point, I recommend just waiting for it to go up and down, because I made a mistake earlier where I jumped onto the next one too soon, and then it went up as I was jumping off, and it was pretty embarrassing. So, but this last one, when the arm is at the top, you can use your Deku Leaf to go over. There are P-hats here, but just use your Deku Leaf in midair and they shouldn't bother you. So here we get to refight Kale Demos. But again, you can now one-cycle him with your stronger sword, so he's not too bad at all. The basic strategy for him is to use your boomerang to cut all of the vines that are attaching him, and then go up and hit him. And you'll see, now with the new sword, you can one-cycle him. He's not hard at all. That one takes the least time out of all 4 bosses. So this next room that we're going to is the one that corresponds to the Earth Temple, and it is the most annoying room in Ganon's Tower by far. You'll see why. So head to the upper right door. Also, one thing you want to know, one thing that I haven't mentioned that you might have noticed is that whenever you enter one of those boss fights, you only have the items that you had when you fought that boss, which means that all of your items gets de-equipped, and you'll have to re-equip them for the boss fight. And so the same thing after the boss fight is over, it will de-equip all your weapons again. So just be mindful of that. So this first part of the room, just run as fast as you can. It doesn't really matter if you get hit. They only do 1/4 of a heart. And head up to this next area. So then you can just avoid all the enemies there, make this a lot faster. So this next part though, you're going to have to release some of the enemies because some of them are purple choo-choos. And you need the purple choo-choos to turn into stone and put on the switch. Once you've done that, you're going to want to run as fast as you can to the other side. Because the purple choo-choos will only stay stoned for a little while. And then the staircase will go up. So the second part's pretty easy, but the third part can be kind of tricky. What you want to do first is go all the way to the end, and you'll have to release all the enemies from the tombstones or the coffins, and then you want to turn one of the purple choo-choos into stone, bring him all the way back, and put him on the switch. However, it doesn't really matter if he comes back to life, because you're not going to be able to make it this time. So run all the way back, but now a Stalfos will appear at the end. Yeah, that's where they get you. So unfortunately you're not going to be able to make it back on time because there's a cutscene that takes place. So now defeat the Stalfos using tricks that we've used during the game with your boomerang and whatnot. And bombs. And now you can do the actual puzzle of picking up the stoned purple choo-choo, bringing him all the way back and putting him down. Then you just have to run as fast as you can to the other side, which isn't much of a problem now because all that's in your way are purple choo-choos. So head through this door and you can fight the rematch with Jalhalla. So for some reason Jalhalla was a little tricky for me this time, although he's usually not hard at all. So the first time, I guess there are 18 little mini pose. Basically what you want to do is pick him up and throw him at a pillar after you've shined light at him, then use your hurricane spin. If you don't have the hurricane spin, it's not a huge deal. You can still get all 6 in one run. But once you've done that, like after you defeat 6, there is one less light beam shining down, and so when you get down to one light beam, it can be kind of hard to get to him because that light beam will keep changing. And usually I get to the first one fast enough, but for whatever reason this time, he used his attacks in such a way that really prevented me to get there, and so it's quite annoying. One nice thing to keep in mind is that if you shine light at him at all while he's attacking, it will automatically stop his attack. So if he's about to throw fire at you, just shine. If you can get just like a quick light shine on him, you're in business. But like I said, if you don't have the hurricane spin, you can go back to I believe it was chapter 8 where we got it. So chapter 8 or 9, probably 9 actually. I think that's the one where we did the collection. So chapter 9 was probably where we got the hurricane spin. So you can go back and see. All you need is 10 Knight's Crests and you give them to Orca. Don't worry, you will be able to go back to the surface. So like if there are things that you haven't done and you want to, like get the rest of the heart containers or heart pieces, get some items like the hurricane spin, the hero's charm, things like that, don't worry, there will be an opportunity for you to go back. So this isn't the point of no return yet. So now to the final room in the lower right side. This corresponds to the Wind Temple. As you can see, there are some Wizrobes in this room. I kind of ignore them just because they're annoying unless they show up right in front of me. And basically what you want to do is just use the combination of your iron boots and the Decker Leaf to get across to the other side. Once you're on the far side, you can pull out your hook shot and get to the top. So watch out for the green bokoblins that jump out of the pots, but they're just green bokoblins. You defeat them in like 3 hits. It's not that big of a deal. So once you go through the door here, this will be our second time fighting Mulgara. The basic strategy for him is to use your hook shot on his tongue when he comes up head first, and then just smack his tongue. He'll create little mini Mulgara things, mini Mulgara spawn. Try and stay as far away from them as possible, so then the presence of them won't interfere with your L targeting. Or LR targeting. He'll eventually come up out of the sand after, so you won't be able to beat him in less than 4 cycles, unfortunately. So the first 2 cycles are pretty easy, then he comes out after and then he'll go back down. After the 3rd cycle, he'll come back out again, and then the 4th cycle you can defeat him. So again, pretty simple, these boss fights. Were kind of a letdown in the game. I would say the weakest part of this game are boss fights, although Ganon's pretty hard, and you'll see him in the next video. So, but there's still something we have to do before we can get to Ganon. But once you've defeated all 4 bosses again, you can head straight up to the next room. So yeah, there's still one more part of Ganon's tower left. So head into the next room and see what awaits. So you go up a staircase, and basically there'll just be some mini blends. You can either run past them or defeat them. They're all one hit, so it's not too difficult. In this room, head to the right first, and you'll see that there's a torch pattern that the game will show you. I don't know if the game showed you this much in the GameCube version, but in the Wii U version they make it very obvious. I can't remember if in the GameCube version they do the same thing. But even the King of Red Lions will tell you to make sure you know the appearance. Then head out and head to the left door, and it will show you that there are switches on the wall. Obviously you have to hit them in the order that the torches were numbered. So you had like the 1 torch, 2 torch, 3 torch, 4 torches. But the game shows you the order anyways, so it's not that difficult of a puzzle. So hit the one under Mulgara first, then the one under Goma, then the one under Jalhala, and then the one under Kali Demos. Once you've done that, a portal will appear, and the King of Red Lions will come out. And at this point, you can go back up to the surface. You'll appear at the Forsaken Fortress, and the King of Red Lions will reveal that this is how Ganon has been getting to the surface and back all this time. That's why his stuff was at the Forsaken Fortress. I'm not going to do that because I already have everything, but I will put a link to my heart piece guide here, so you can check that out if there are still heart pieces you want to get. So at this point you can go up and you can get all the heart pieces you haven't gotten so far. But since I have all of them, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, click on the link. Obviously, if you're watching this the day I'm putting it out there, I haven't made the heart piece guide yet. So, but anyways, head back to the room with the candles and just jump down the pit. So in here we'll fight again a Phantom Ganon. So we're gonna have to fight him quite a bit of times. So I sped up the rest of the times fighting him. Basically you only need to deliver 1 hit to him though. So he has 3 main attacks. One of them is to shoot the ball at him, or the main attack is to shoot the blue ball at you. Once you defeated him though, make sure you know which direction his sword's hilt points, because that's the door you have to go to. It's kind of a maze. And so I've sped up the rest of this, and you'll see me going towards his sword's hilt. So you have to go towards the sword's hilt to go to the next room. And you have to do this 5 or 6 times until you get the item. Some of his other attacks include a red ball. This I recommend just dodging. I think you can spin attack and get all of the things to hit him, but it's pretty difficult. And so I recommend just taking him out when he uses his blue ball attack and continue to follow the sword's hilt. Also though, you can hit him when so he'll do an attack where he surrounds you, and if you wait for him outside of the circle, you can hit him and stun him and then hit him again, and so you can make it really quick. So once you've followed the sword's hilt enough times, you'll get to a new room that locks behind you, and this is basically the indication that you've been going the right way, although in each room there will be the little sound that indicates that you've been going the right way. So in here you just have to defeat him one more time and you will get the dungeon item, the light arrows. So in this game the light arrows, they're basically the weapon of mass destruction for enemies. It will one-shot every enemy in the game, except for Ganon, of course, but you need to use them against Ganon anyways, so they are required. But they will one-shot every enemy in the game. I'm not joking. Darknuts, Moblins, you'll see. So, after you pick up the light arrows, make sure you switch to them. You switch them in the same way you switch to the fire and ice arrows. And then head through the door, which will bring you back to the room we were just in. Except this time, Phantom Ganon will appear. But instead of going through hitting his ball back at him, just shoot him with a light arrow, and it will instantly destroy him. So once he's defeated, pick up his sword, and either slash with his sword or throw his sword at the big door with the Ganon symbol on it. This will destroy the door and you can head in. So this next room is just another big stairway room, although you have to defeat all the enemies. I recommend just using light arrows because all of the enemies will be defeated in one hit by light arrows. So there's that. So the first floor area just has a moblin, and as you can see, you'll destroy him in one hit. So the light arrows do use magic, but each of these little floor areas have magic and hearts for you, so it's preparing you to defeat Ganon. And here's an example of the Dark Knight. Just use the light arrow and he's instantly dead. So yeah, so basically just continue doing this until you get to the top of the stairs. There is magic and hearts at the top of the stairs, so don't worry about your magic or hearts. And then head into the next door, where we will take on Ganon in part B of chapter 13. So next part will be my basically boss guide on Ganon. So I will see you guys then.